Bishop Joaquina Filipe Nhanala was the resident bishop of the Mozambique area, which includes Mozambique North and South. She was also the resident bishop for the South African Annual Conferences and the Madagascar Mission Area in the Africa Central Conference of the United Methodist Church. But before all this, we take a look at the bishop's upbringing.
I lived in a family where the extended family we had people that were Christians and non-Christians, and so I lived that, what it is to be a Christian, and a life of also those who were not Christians. That helped me to make my choices as I was young and as I was growing up in a way that I would say better be fear the Lord than when you don't know the Lord. So that shaped my life. But it was in 1985 that conviction came. It kept on thinking, I kept on really feeling I needed to come to the ministry full time. Because I was already there. I was preaching, leading. There was a time I was a treasurer in the church, and there was a time when my husband and I were counselors in the church. But it is at that time when I felt God is calling me for a full-time ministry.
The bishop pursued her theological studies in 1985 and was ordained as a deacon in 1989. She holds a diploma in theology, a Bachelor of Divinity degree, and a master's in Bible studies and theology.
And what was it like studying theology during the times of this civil unrest in Liberia, and just maybe later moving? How was that experience for me?
It wasn't an easy experience because of course, I left Mozambique during the time there was war also. But what happened there, first I thank God that we came from there, all of us, my husband, I, and the children, safe. And then, of course, it delayed my years of study because instead of going for 5-6 years, we ended up going for 12 almost. So it did impact negatively to our studies. But it was an experience also where we saw God's grace, and as the war happened in a foreign land with the children, and it was a real war. So it did impact our family, our journey, our academic journey. Of course, after Liberia, we went to Ghana, and then we went to Kenya, then to Mozambique. So, yeah. So that had been planned to go to Liberia and come back ended up giving us opportunity of knowing even other places, knowing other cultures.
In July 2008, she was elected the first female United Methodist Bishop in Africa at the Africa Central Conference at Africa University in Mutare, Zimbabwe. She was the pastor of Matola United Methodist Church in Mozambique when she was elected.
My name is Mills Maliwa. I'm an administrative assistant to the bishop. In Africa, all bishops, because there are 13 episcopal areas in Africa, which means there are 13 bishops. Then all those bishops were male. When she was elected as bishop, it was for the first time for Africa to have a female bishop, because we are not yet an Episcopal area. An Episcopal area is a conference whereby you can elect your own bishop within a particular country. For us, we are not yet there, so we are being supervised by Mozambique. When South Africans decided to join the United Methodist Church from the Methodist Church of Southern Africa, the United Methodist Church here in South Africa was only for the Mozambicans who came as members of United Methodist Church to work in mines here in South Africa. And then they started their own church, the United Methodist Church here in South Africa. Then some of the South Africans were interested to join the UMC. They went to Johannesburg, Shiawelo, to meet the members of UMC, who were the Mozambican nationals. This is how it happened. And then in 2000, the Central Conference decided that these two districts, the one under Mozambique and the one under Zimbabwe, should be joined together so that a provisional annual conference in South Africa is created. That was the main problem, because two different groups were joined together. So there were many hiccups because of that situation. He came to be our bishop at that stage. That is why there were difficulties. There were many differences. But she managed to, because she's a very calm person and a smart person, she managed to control things. As we are today, we are a quiet, smooth running church. She managed to, there are many properties built during her time. We have trained pastors. We have some people who graduated university degrees during her time, which were not there before. So there are those, the membership is high now since she started working with us.
He says she managed to change the culture of the church.
Those days, the church was too militant here in South Africa. But today it's funny, it's a church. Even if we are in a meeting, you can see that this is not a political party meeting. It's a church meeting. So I can highlight that she is good on that. She is too patient to work with people, even if they are trying to hurt him. But she becomes a leader under pressure or difficult situations.
District Superintendent Victoria Chifeche met Bishop Nhanala before going to school while she was a pastor. They worked together for a short period before going to school, where Chifeche went in Zimbabwe.
As soon as she became a bishop in 2008, Bishop Nhanala appointed me and my husband, because both of us were pastors. So I was appointed to work with her as an executive secretary of women. This position I served for 10 years. Yes, and then after that time of 10 years, she also appointed me to be a district superintendent.
She served under the leadership of Bishop Nhanala for 6 years, and in the 7th year, she became district superintendent.
As an executive secretary, under her leadership, it was a lot of challenges. First, because, Bishop Nhanala is the first woman leader here in Africa. at the higher position. It was not very easy even among us as her colleagues. Most of her colleagues, our colleagues, were not believing on a woman's leadership, but Bishop Nhanala is as strong as I never seen, because without telling people, moving around to sing, I am the leader, I am the leader, she would prove by doing. Under her instruction as my leader, I was also taking care of orphans, because we have got an orphanage center, which it is in Nyambani province. So me as executive secretary, I was the one who was taking care of those children who do not have their parents.
The bishop says the position did not come easily.
Well, first I had to tell myself that it is God that has chosen me first, and that the Lord is with me. So they did not intimidate. We are 13 or 12 men, and in most of our meetings I was really the only woman there, but that did not intimidate my Episcopal journey.
We built some houses for the kids. Besides that, we also built a center of elderly people. We have got in that time when I started to work under her leadership, there were over 30 women who were chased away from their homes by their own children or relatives of their deceased husband, as they were accusing them as witches. We accommodated them, and we built about 3 houses for them, and also we provided water because they didn't have water. We actually had a story which is not good. They were walking a short distance of about, I think about 100 meters to have water. So one of them collapsed on the way when she was coming with 5 liters of water. They were old, and beside all the suffering they had before they came to the United Methodist. So she collapsed and died on the spot when she fell. Now from that history, Bishop Nhanala looked for some partnership for us to provide water for those women. So they have got a well in their home. Also, they have got the electricity in the right rural area. So yeah, she brought happiness and hope to those people who were hopeless. I think I'm very small to describe Bishop Nhanala, but because you are asking, I will try in that my minority to say Nhanala is a woman of God. She's a child of God. I don't know, sometimes when I was thinking, even if I was alone, I was thinking, is she a normal person? Because she is kind of a fearless one. She even taught us to have courage, to be strong even in times of challenges, where some of us like myself who are sometimes are very weak, we would think on desisting. One thing that she did, which I will not forget, it's her inclusion as well, because when she came into the position, she trusted even young people. If you see in her cabinet, she left some young district superintendents, men and women who were working, because she was trusting on them. She was also ready to give instruction if anything was necessary.
One of those people is Bishop Sambo, who is the successor of Bishop Nhanala.
I hope the Lord will give skills and capacities to the bishop that we have, so that what has happened before, what has been started by Bishop Nhanala, will continue and will be more influent, because he is young, and he knew the land before. He knows the field. maybe she can write some books so that we can learn. Even the next generations will also, because she is strong to do that.
Bishop Sambu's first role under Bishop Nhanala was lecturing at the Theological Seminary in the Mozambique Southeast Senior Conference.
I was teaching there other, potential theologians who'd maybe later become pastors. So I was teaching 4 subjects. At the same time, I was the chaplain in that mission center. Then I went to parish ministry. And then from parish ministry, she appointed me to be her Episcopal secretary. Well, I think her humility, she's very smart woman, very strong. Some may not know that, but she's very smart. She's intelligent, and she knows how to deal with the people. So some of these are very relevant, as a role models for my leadership as well, to say, well, there is a backup kind of leadership that I can refer to as I lead the church in this Episcopal area. So humility is one of them. Those skills that are needed for one leader to implement, especially in church establishments, are very significant. So yeah, believe me or not, I would really look at them and say, yes, these are very important aspects that I can use in my personal leadership. Well, I have noticed during her leadership that she always promoted education, especially for young girls. And by young girls, I mean, female gender. She wanted to uplift and improve, the education qualities and standards, such that during her leadership, there are many young ladies, pastors who are in the ministry now, some of them who became district superintendents, some are still in that role. So education was key to her. And also, she looked at the sustainability of the church as a key factor for us to maybe move away from dependence, from foreign aid. So that's one thing. It's also important to stress or to highlight that the spirituality of the church is one of the things that she promoted. She wanted to see, a lively, spiritual church. And I believe that these achievements are visible and tangible in our United Methodist Church within our Episcopal area.
Khuliswa Mphatha is an associate lay leader of the annual conference. She met Bishop Nhanala in 2009.
I saw this tiny, soft-spoken female, and I said to myself, oh, is she going to manage being a female, because you are so used to having big male figures as bishops. But then when she started opening her mouth and starting with the business of the church, you could feel that warmth and the humility that was in her.
Mrs. Mphatha then became Bishop Nhanala's annual conference secretary.
Then they had to immediately maneuver, and I was elected the first female secretary within our annual conference, and also working with the female bishop. Our work relationship, I found that she was very helpful and she was patient, and she understood that it was my first time sitting in that position to write for the annual conference, especially for the bishop, and she was very helpful. Bishop, as you are retiring, I would like to say to you, I thank you so much, because when I was elected to work with you, you didn't just see a woman in a women's organization uniform, but you saw a woman that needed to be empowered. I've said yesterday when we were doing a farewell function, I said, I'm very happy to have worked with you, because the polity of the church I've learned out of you. You made sure you buy me the best book of discipline of the church, and you assisted me to read it and how to start, because it's a big book and it's so complex, but you made it easy for me to understand it.
Armindo Mapoyisa, coordinator of church development in Mozambique annual conferences. While he was a long-serving member of the church, he only started working directly with it in 2008.
We had a good time. And the bishop, she's open, and because I had to help her to oversee the church development. When we have different initiatives of the church, when we go to dedicate a well or a personage, or to dedicate a church, so we had to be with her. And even different work that we have in the church, like opening new schools, because we have different ministries that are happening there with children, youth, women, men. We have a good partnership with Missouri Annual Conference, and we had to coordinate when the teams were coming to help us go to different places like Inhambane, in the northern part of Mozambique, to dedicate wells. So I had to coordinate that part.
He says she helped increase membership exponentially.
Something good was happening is to see the bishop arriving there, and they say, "Oh, this United Methodist Church that is bringing us water." And something that is important in that way is we also evangelize through this water, this well that was drilled in that place, in a certain place. So we have the well, and also we have the church. And we have a pastor there, we have the DS, and we do evangelize, and we have more members to join United Methodist Church. Also, she was able to go to Madagascar to baptize more than 100 believers who joined the church. The church is there now with this missionary. And also, of course, she's supervising South Africa. She did that work in South Africa, opening new churches, new districts, consecrating pastors in South Africa. But of course, in Mozambique, she consecrated lots of pastors, younger pastors, who are now leading churches. We're now opening new churches, and the church is growing. I can give an example. In Mozambique, we have more than 250 pastors. So this was through our leadership.
The bishop says young people play an important role in the church.
As we have a lot of young people, we intentionally involve them. For example, they are encouraged to be part of the solution of our issues, the issues that our communities are facing. And we do that, by example, we have our Episcopal area is one of the young Episcopal areas, I can say, in leadership.
What a wonderful and long journey it has been with our Bishop. And as she steps into retirement, I just wanted to know that the legacy that she has left in us will be a long-lasting effect and has been instilled into our hearts. We thank her for the time, the love, the patience, the passion that she had for the youth. She prayed for us, she gave us guidance, and we thank her for that. We thank her for giving us free will to speak our minds. And she must rest assured that the youth will carry on with the torch of faith that she has instilled in us, and will be a firm foundation for the United Methodist Church of South Africa.
On behalf of communications, we are so thankful for the bishop for giving us a voice as the youth and for inspiring us so much. Your guidance and you really had a great impact on us and will continue to have a great impact on us. We're so grateful that you've given a space for youth like me and Lumka and the UMYF to be able to share stories in South Africa in the form of communications. Your legacy will truly live through us.
Bishop is married to a United Methodist pastor and reverend and has 4 children.
In her ministry, I will say that her dedication to what she believes God has inspired her to do That definitely has inspired me and a lot of our family members. As a woman myself, knowing that there are no limits, nobody can limit to what God has put you in this world to do. If it is God's choice and God's will, it will have.
In closing messages,
We will remember her. Yes, we know that the bishop, the leaders, according to our belief as a church, are appointed by God and they are empowered by the Holy Spirit to do. God has a mission for each person.
My message first is to appreciate for all what she did. Even myself here as I'm sitting, I'm thankful to her because I hold a doctoral degree because she allowed me to do that. Because as well this time of political tense in Mozambique, I think somebody would need more advice. So I hope and pray that Bishop Nhanala will not forsake her son, who is Bishop Sambo, with his family. And praying that the Lord may continue strengthening her because this is the time that she will have time to read more books and trying to bring her past, kind of the adventures to see maybe she can write some book.
Thank you so much for your wisdom, your humility, and the love you had for the church.
Bishop, thank you very much for your contribution, your leadership. Your contribution is much appreciated by us as South Africa Annual Conference. It was good working with you. We will miss you as our bishop. We hope that, Bishop, now is the time for you to take a break, relax, and spend time with Ubaba, because we know Ubaba for quite some time now have been very sick. I know you had to sacrifice because you wanted to make sure that the task that was given to you by the Council of Bishops and by the Africa Central Conference, you deliver on it. So thank you very much, Bishop. Goodbye. Thank you, and relax now. We believe that you have opportunity to be with your family, with your relatives, with your grandchildren, and be able to go away. You wanted to go, but due to the nature of the work you were doing, you were unable to go. It's time now to rest. But within the United Methodist Church, we used to joke saying that retired but not tired. So we know that you are retiring, but you're not tired. So we'll always come to you seeking, guidance and wisdom such that we can use it for the church. So all the best, and may God bless you.
Together, we can open hearts, open minds, and open doors. We are the people of United Methodist Church.